Be careful the things that you wish for. I know this to be true for a fact. Wishes can be brutal, unforgiving things that burn your tongue the moment they're spoken, and you can never take them back, and in the long run, usually never work out quite like you planned. Now, 3 years ago, in January of 2022, I took a chance. I took a risk on something that I was seeing happen across this country that I knew was eventually going to be this 800-pound gorilla in the room that everybody was going to eventually have to take the blinders off and look at. Papa Oscar Romeo November. Those of you out there in the military know what that stands for. PORN. There is a huge story out there now, and it's going to have some long-term effects and some unseen effects that I think people are going to say, hey, wait a minute. We wanted this thing to happen, but the way this is being done, it's causing something entirely different to happen, and that isn't what we wanted. You watch. Here in Florida and in Texas, if you would be of the type of mind that would go to a place called Corn Hub, you are no longer met with the same screen that you would have seen before. It's a blank screen, and one of their porn stars is all clothed, talking about why they have now blocked their site in the state rather than adhere to the law. Block their site in the state rather than adhere to the law. Now, real quick, we're going to be able to get a lot farther into this over at Patreon. It's actually one of the reasons I started pushing the Patreon channel, because mark my words, this is going to be the canary in the coal mine. This is going to be the litmus test for how many freedoms in the name of morality the people of this country are going to allow the government to take. Because all the government now has to prove is, well, could possibly cause harm to somebody somewhere. If used improperly, then we should find a way to restrict. Doesn't that sound like the Second Amendment people trying to take something from you? No, the gun grabbers, isn't that the argument? Well, could possibly cause harm, right? Join us over at Patreon. Next video we're going to be doing is the next level up. We just got done doing a video over there a day or two ago for everybody. There's 4 levels of the Patreon channel, 1, 5, 10, and 15. The next one is for the 5, 10, and 15 level. It's the Need to Know Roundtable videos. Love to have you over there. God bless everyone who signed up over there. You're making it possible for me to continue to do YouTube videos. Now, I put this little kind of cartoon together, and I thought it was something kind of funny, where they got a guy and he's in bed next to his electronic device with, of course, Corn Hub pulled up, and Corn Hub is, of course, saying, I don't mean to be that device, hon, but I'm going to need to see some ID before this goes any farther. And, of course, he's saying, well, but we've been together for 10 years. Some people even longer. More than a dozen states have passed new laws that led to restrictions on pornography. Now the Supreme Court will weigh in. In Texas and Florida, and more than a dozen other states, users who try to access the world's largest pornography website are greeted by a surprising sight. A message on a black screen telling them they're blocked because of the actions of their state legislature. Over the last 2.5 years, 19 states, home to more than a third of Americans, have passed laws that require pornography websites to confirm a user's age by checking a government-issued ID or scanning their face, among other methods. See, here's the canary in the coal mine. You're going to have your real ID for things that could cause harm. You see, think of this as something much greater than just pornography. Anything that could possibly cause harm. The government can now say, okay, we're going to take it away. We're going to take it away unless you can prove that you can be responsible with it. And here in Florida, where I'm making this video, here is that site. Now, it's kind of funny. The person who's reading the message is an actress who goes by the moniker Cherry DeVille, otherwise known as America's Stepmom. But you read through here and they basically whine and cry and complain that they don't want to do this. So instead of going through, and it would basically, this is a money issue for them. It would cost them a lot of money to put in things in places where you would do either fingerprint ID on your phone or face scan ID on your phone or real ID or anything like that. They don't want to do it, so they're just basically taking their ball and leaving. Now, here's the hilarious part. You ready for this? Scroll all the way down. Model or content partner access. You see, here's the funny part. You can't watch Pornhub, pardon me. Well, I guess it's on the screen. I guess we can say it now. In Florida, but you can create content for them. Think of that logic for 1 minute. You can create the content for them and upload it from Florida, but you can't actually watch the content on the site in Florida. And the hilarious part about this is that this platform that we're on right now, YouTube, actually allows Sherry DeVille, the internet's stepmom, to have her own channel here. And she does basically everything that she does over at Cornhub, but she just has her clothes on. And if that's not the biggest psyop in the world, I don't know what is. All these things that you do, you can't do it, and we're going to restrict it, and you're going to have all these rules, and could cause harm, and all this kind of stuff, but as long as you have your clothes on, it's fine. This is about money. This is about, with the advent of OnlyCans, the average Jane, the average girl out there now, can bypass all of Hollywood, bypass the Valley, bypass the main porn industry, and can one-on-one now earn a decent living from her bedroom with some, things from Victoria's Secret or Bergdorf's or wherever, and a camera and a ring light and some creativity. Are they going to ban people at the beach next? Are they going to ban people at the beach? And wait a minute. Hold on, Florida Maki. You just jumped the shark there. That's two totally different things. Nope. The only difference between Cherie DeVille's corn content and her YouTube content is this, in this particular area here, she has clothes on. She does the same things. So if clothing is the difference, well, you go to beaches in Florida and you will see a big lack of it in the middle of summertime. Especially the farther south you go. You go down to Miami Beach, go take a look at what ain't being worn. Are we going back to these days now in America, where there's going to be some fella out on the beach and he's going to be out there in a tie and a long sleeve shirt and a hat and and slack, basically church clothes, and he's going to be out there with his tape measure making sure that ladies' suits are so close to the knee? Are we going to do that? Is that where we're going? I'll tell you who is celebrating now. They may have lost in their conflict over there on the eastern side of the Mediterranean, but they're winning in America. They're winning in America. I'm sure they are happy as clams to see this. Busybodies with nothing better to do than to get in other people's business and say, well, this is online and I saw this thing and this could cause, and so I want to. It's basically the HOA of the internet. It's basically the HOA of the internet, because you have to remember something. See this girl all the way to the right? And she's showing all this ridiculous ankle from the top of her foot all the way to 2 inches below her knee. There was a time when that was seen as wildly inappropriate. The flappers, this girl here out here dancing with this dress on and acting like this was seen. This was the pornography of its day. People said that this was going to lead to, and everybody ignored it then. See, this is this idea everybody has in their mind of what a man and a woman should be. Of course, it's all this medieval Romeo and Juliet nonsense. It's never been this. This is more Hollywood than pornography is. This idea. Yes, and I know people love especially women, love their romantic this, that, and the other. But hey, I asked you guys. I asked my audience, and I'll bring up this poll every single time because I was shocked by the results based on the pushback that I got. The question in the poll is personal financial sovereignty the ultimate form of morality? And 67% of you said yes, that whatever you basically needed to do to bring in the money to make sure that you were financially sovereign was the most important thing. Every other answer I put up, whether it was go to jail, get married, or live off the government, made up like the other 33%. So, just saying. Just saying. I don't want to be the type that says I called it, but I called it. We're going to see, because the Supreme Court's going to weigh in on this, and it's going to weigh in on the Second Amendment and this whole idea of, do we now empower government? Now that we have a bunch of billionaires that we like, now that we have a whole bunch of billionaires, Ramaswamy and Musk and Trump and all these other hyper wealthy influence people that we think are so great. Hey, whatever happened to rich men north of Richmond? Whatever happened to the rich men north of Richmond? They're the problem. Who was the hillbilly redhead singer? You remember the guy that had 90 acres, a flowing ranch, an ATV, a bunch of dogs, and sat around, smoked weed all day, and had a net worth of about $500,000. The guy, the oppressed guy. Remember the oppressed guy? Singing rich men north of Richmond. Well, guess who just got elected? Guess who just got elected? A bunch of rich men, huh? Imagine that. So, when your phone starts to card you, don't be surprised. If it starts to set off alerts if you get near a ballistic weapons store, boy, talk about could cause harm. We better look at the track record of somebody like that and see if they have a whole bunch of things in their life that could cause harm, bad judgment calls or mistakes made in the past, all this kind of stuff. Who's ready for all that? Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Wishes are brutal, unforgiving things. Like I said, that's about where I have to stop. I can't say much more without this video getting taken down, but join us Patreon. Down in the description box, find the links. There's 4 different levels. Love to have you over there. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.